this.
Okay.
But there's a rumor that there's this intimidating toothbrush that's been terrorizing people. And so,
Listen, Linda.
Have you been ran out of your home?
Listen.
Have you been ran out of your home because of an electric toothbrush or something?
I really did think I was praying over my family. I was praying that we would not have a bomb go off in our home. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
No,
I don't even know.
Do you want me to tell you guys what happened?
I'm afraid to hear this. I'm afraid.
So it was a Monday morning a week ago, and I sleep really hard on Sunday nights because Sunday's a really, really big day for ministry, for worship leading and stuff. And so like I was out and I was awoken from a dead sleep by a terrible noise. And it sounds
like a Christmas story.
That's what I was thinking.
And what was a clatter?
Listen, it sounded like someone was sawing through my wall and there was water, like a waterfall. And I called Justin, I put it on speakerphone and I said, babe, this is not good. Like something really, really bad has happened. He's like, I'm just now pulling into the plant. And I'm like, it's really bad. And he goes, okay, I'm pulling away from the plant. and he came home and for 25 minutes, that's how long it takes him. I prayed and I called him again. I said, do I need to take the kids for safety? I got the dogs out of our room because I thought that my room was going to blow up and we were all going to die. I was really, really scared. And he came home and
and what was it, Lindsay? What was it?
He opens the shower door and he said, babe, looks like my toothbrush fell off the ledge and somehow got turned on. Turned the toothbrush off. And we were saved, my hero.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a little bit shocked. So can I speak on behalf of the audience?
Please.
Here's what everybody, y'all feel free to chime in and tell everybody that you're agreeing with me here.
Yes.
So I learned a lot about you already. So here's the question.
Okay.
You know, there are, on this planet, when something happens, there are a million possibilities.
Yes.
You went straight to the house is going to blow up.
I went straight to the Lord in prayer.
Well,
from my house.
After your house is going to blow up. I mean, why couldn't it have been that there is a mole who is bore into your house?
Listen, when I was like in
How about, when I was in middle
school, our water heater exploded.
Mole. It was going to blow up, okay?
Our water heater exploded when I was in middle school in the bathroom right next to my room. And so I thought, it's happening again, and there's going to be fire
that's
and
at least more realistic
water
than a bomb
everywhere. I thought it was over.
That.
I almost called my neighbors. I was like, do I need to call?
It was over.
Oh, my word.
I just want to know, why was there like a lack of investigation?
I went in there.
Because I feel like Justin got there, and within 5 minutes, he was like, yeah, it's a toothbrush.
It was within like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But I went in the bathroom
I mean,
and
you're
I
dead
couldn't
anyway.
find the sound.
Why not at least go
walked
see
all
why you're going to
over.
die?
I don't think due diligence was extra.
No, I'm going to die.
Listen.
That's what's determined.
I have
at least
never
want to see why I'm gonna die.
proclaimed to have excellent technical skills. I've never brought.
Technical skills.
Nah.
It's opening the shower.
Well, I thought the shower was going to blow me
that
up.
off.
So I did not open the shower because I didn't want
about
to
this
die.
business, guys, is once you have these tools and stuff in place, you can sit in your underwear in your office and have fun and act a fool and make as much as you want, because that's what these tools do.
We are not wearing our underwear, by the way.
Oh, I'm definitely
wearing underwear.
I mean, we're not wearing.
Lindsay, please speak for yourself.
Do not.
I decided
We're
to wear
not
it.
wearing just our underway.
Oh, okay.
That is different.
That's different.
That is a completely different statement.
Completely different stuff.
Those are different words.
Why? I mean, talking about toothbrushes, and then
I'm telling you,
I don't know where she.
what has happened to this program?
She's hijacked it. It used to be a nice Christian show.
Yes, and you know that guy who come up to you and he
Justin,
says,
come
"Hey,
get
can we
Lindsay."
just get through the weird stuff to the business?"
Yeah.
Now we know why.
Now we know what he's talking about. Now we know. You know, it all started with the CBD comment, and
I
ever
just
since
meant we weren't like
then, we.
inappropriate off camera. That's all I meant.
Yes.
Yes. No one's.
Oh, we're definitely inappropriate off the camera too, but that's a whole nother story.
We leave the inappropriateness to when we're on the camera. Any other questions?
Yeah,
The whole thing is, I have not in my heart like.
Listen.
How defensive she's got in my heart.
She's starting to feel guilty.
No, I'm telling you, I thought that toothbrush was going to set my house on fire.
I'm sending a text message to your pastor and asking him, please do not listen to this episode 394. It was innocent.
It was innocent.
I really did think that my house was going to explode and I need to protect my children and my dogs. And like, I was trying to figure out a plan for safety.
The whole just the worst comment and ever made, and one that still leaves us all asking, why is there an electric toothbrush in the shower?
Thank you for listening to our show today.
A blog will help you do that. Number 6, a blog will help you tell your story. And I want to tell you, nothing sells better. Nothing you do. There is nothing you can do or say that is going to do better for you than telling your story. Your story has more power and more potential for you to turn a profit, to grow your platform, to be able to widen your footprint, to have more impact, to be able to reach more people in a much more deeper and meaningful way that builds that rapport that you so desperately need and want for your business. Nothing will do that better than telling your story. Everybody's got one. I like what Eric Thomas said one time. He says, I might not have been through what you've been through, but I've been through my go through. And telling people what you've had to go through helps them understand, okay, this is a real person. It encourages them. What is encouraging people? It's literally taking courage and putting it on the inside of them. When I tell my story of how it was just in 2008, I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I was just steps away from being homeless. Our house was being foreclosed on. We were literally days away from get out of the house, a house that we had lived in my whole life. I was raised there, been in my family for years. It was the old family farm. My great-grandparents met at a barn dance on that piece of property. Telling that story and finding myself in a food bank looking for benevolence to feed a family of five children and a wife, actually a family of 7. Telling that story informs people that, hey, I don't know where you're at, but I've had my own thing. I get struggle. And it also lets them understand why I'm so passionate about what I do. Because the very training, the tools, the technology that I use today is how I, just in a short period of just a decade, have gone from the outhouse back to the penthouse. But more than the softwares, the systems, the website.
What's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it. I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Boy, I love that. Because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother.
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea, your zone of fire and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying, why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
Bless your
he
heart.
thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So I should do. That was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Yeah, Terry's like, how am I, you could just put them, I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so next day, right? The next day he starts sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law. We're gonna go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talk to someone and as he goes and he talks to the manufacturer and he's like, so, where are these things? If I want to get them, how do I sell them? And he doesn't go into the conversation with the idea of, I'm going to figure out how to make this more efficient for myself. Or maybe he does to a degree, but he doesn't make that his outward appearance. He's not desperate. He's desperate, but he doesn't portray desperation. He portrays, as he's talking to the person, he's asking them questions about their business, and they give him the keys to the kingdom. They tell him the whole layout. They tell him exactly how to run his business. Now, in Watergate, did you ever hear, like in the first week after Watergate, Woodward and Bernstein spoke to a Spanish guy down in Mexico, and the joke was, he told us exactly what happened, but we don't speak Spanish, so we lost the story. It turns out that was true. They got the whole thing in the first week, but didn't understand it. Terry got the whole thing in the first week and put it together. He hears, you have warehouses all over the country, so why don't I sell them and then you guys will just deliver them locally? He gets that in an instant. He doesn't think about the problem. He doesn't think they're not going to do it, any of this stuff. When I hear about Terry selling them and he just gets in a truck, my first thought with that is, I know what.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com.
Over one decade of helping others
Discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents
At TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really, I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Thank Christopher B. This is Terry Wilson, and you are listening to our podcast here at TerryWilson3.com. Tonight, we're talking with Coach Bobby Christy of TW3Radio.com about cryptocurrency. What is it? How do you use it? Should you use it? Can you make money from it? All of that information and more will be coming to you via Coach C of the radio show Inside Pitch in just a few moments. So tonight is the last podcast for April of 2021, and we will be taking the month of May off, guys. As many of you know that have been following our show and been part of TW3, you know that we try to take about 2 to 3 months off a year if we can, and there's not a pandemic going on. So we're going to be taking that off to travel and relax a little bit. This May, Gina and I celebrate 25 years of marriage and plan on taking some time to just enjoy traveling, being with family, and relaxing. But do not worry. TW3 will be back live starting in June, and we will have 2 new radio personalities that we will be welcoming to the show, and they've agreed to join us, and so we're very excited about that. Guys, can you believe we've talked greenbacks into joining us? He's going to be jumping in with us.
He's got sales calls to take.
That's why I said, can you come off the phone just for, I know you got all that money to make, but if you'll just get off the phone for just a moment. He's going to be coming in talking about his secret sauce to success and what he does and some of his scripts and how he's been able for years now at TW3 to offer people value, and in turn he's been getting value as well. So we're excited about that. Also, we're excited about a new elite member and trainer who has had years of experience in entrepreneurialism and mindset matters. I was honored to be interviewed by her on her new show, and I just can't wait for the TW3 audience to be able to hear her, meet her, and see the content and value she's bringing. Miss Valerie Williams, she's coming in, bringing the heat. So we're excited about that as well.
Yeah, in segment 3, we're going to be taking your questions. So as always, go ahead and send those in. A lot of our members are gracious enough to help us with those. Only thing we ask is that you keep it clean, positive, and relevant, unless it's funny.
Unless it's funny. It's always funny. We always got that caveat.
Unless it's funny.
We appreciate humor.
Share the show with TW3 Podcast 466, and we'll be checking the hashtags at the end of the show, and then we'll have a winner at the end of the show. Is that right?
That is right.
And then the winner of contest last week is Rich Holiday, and he's
Holiday.
That's Rich.
Rich.
He's won a 2-night, 3-day vacation certificate, and then Lori Brown has won a signed book.
All right. So, guys, that Rich, thank you so much. And how did he win that? We offered 3 different ways to win. You could share the podcast, leave a review about the podcast. And what was the other way? I can't remember. I know it was share and review. But anyway, Rich was so gracious to leave us a kind review, and he was one of the ones we selected. So, Rich, we'll be getting a certificate to you going out of a 2-night, 3-day vacation that you can use, and terms do apply. So, read the fine print. But, you know, you do get that, and it's pretty cool. And also, Lori, Miss Spelling Bee, thank you so much for always sharing the show. And we picked you. If I know you've already got a signed copy of the book, so if you've got a client you would like us to send that to, just let us know, and we'd be more happy to send that client signed, courtesy of Miss Spelling Bee as well. And so if you share the podcast tonight, hashtag TW3 Podcast 466, we will be selecting someone and be sending out a gift as well. So make sure you share that if you can. Share the YouTube video, share the link to the podcast, whatever, however you want to share it. Just share it and put that hashtag so we can find it and be able to do that as well. But without further ado, guys, we have got the coach coming in from the coach, bringing the heat from the bullpen, pitching like Bumgarner is what we're expecting tonight. Hopefully he's not pitching against us like Bumgarner was yesterday. Boy, he whipped up on us a little bit, didn't he, Bobby?
Yes, he did. It was an amazing performance.
Yeah.
And you got to love crafty left-handers.
Well, you love them more when they're on your team, but yes, man, he was, he's got that sidearm.
Yeah, he has a really, really interesting pitch delivery. He goes all the way across like a 360 and then throws it. It's
that
really
slot that he
and it's got to be confusing for the batter, especially a left-handed batter.
Oh, he's coming. The ball's like coming in from behind you.
Yeah.
So, Bobby, what do you tell someone that's going to get up to bat against Max Bumgarner? Swing and pray.
Actually, if it's a right-handed batter, you just have to be patient. Maybe you move up a little on the plate and you're patient because he's going to mix up the speed. So you're not going to see the same speed twice. And, the way that I taught hitters how to hit was, the first, you divide the strike zone into quadrants.
Yeah.
And for strike one, you pick one quadrant. Then after you get a strike, you pick a half, upper half or lower half. And then for, that's for strike two. And then for, once you get 2 strikes on you, you widen out everything. And, you have to protect the whole strike zone.
Yeah.
And, in today's bomb and lob baseball, where everybody's swinging from their heels, trying to hit it out to get on ESPN, a guy like Baumgartner is just going to screw people right into the ground. You've got to hit the ball where it's pitched. And if he's going to throw you a slow one on the outside part of the plate, just hit it the other way.
That's it.
You got to have base runners to score runs.
That's right. And hit it where it's pitched. I love that.
There's, that's why it frustrates me when I see these, overloaded, shifts and guys hitting into the shift. It's like, dude, you got like half a ballpark, but there isn't a soul.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're going to give you that side of the field, take it.
Take it.
Hey, before we got on here, you were talking to my oldest here a little bit about the unwritten rules of baseball. And, he is starting to pick up a little bit and watch more baseball. And I told him, I said, hey, you're maturing. I like to see this. You're coming over to the adult side of the table here. But I had a kid. But there is a business lesson here. Because what is unwritten rules? There is a business. He's looking at me like, I'd love to see how you pull this out.
Here's the written rule, okay? If the pitcher strikes out everybody, he jumps up, catcher comes over, they high five, they're like, hey, good job, bro. Yeah, and they celebrate, okay? If a guy crushes a ball out of the park and he so much as flinches like, hey, that looked pretty good, the next time he gets up, they're going to throw a 100-mile projectile at his kneecaps. Like, I'm just saying there's a little bit of disparity between what's appropriate and what's not.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is, what is unwritten rules but nothing more than that culture of that sport or business? Isn't it true that all sports or all businesses, all organizations have quote unquote unwritten rules?
Sure.
It's a culture.
Sure.
And you can get hurt if you don't understand some of those unwritten rules, the culture of that group, that organization, that, hey, it's not in your manual. It's not in the handbook. But if you so dare as question the owner's wife,
yes,
you won't get promoted.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So just go around the table. I've got my own story, but has anyone got a story that they want to share tonight about how an unwritten rule, a cultural faux pas, might have hurt you in your business past?
I can give a really quick one.
All right.
This is when I worked at Chick-fil-A. Burns are going to happen, and everybody expects you to.
Now, what's burns?
Like hot oil grease gets on your arm. You grab a pan from the oven. And it burns.
Okay,
Like
a
literal burn.
Yeah.
The unwritten rule is that you take the burn, and then you just turn around and pray to Jesus and be like, heal that burn. But you don't react.
You don't react to it.
And if you do react, it's a write-up. And we all know what reaction you're going to have when you burn the...
Right.
And so...
But get a chat afterwards.
The thing is, though, if certain people, I'm not going to even say position, if certain people burn and everybody else sees it, you rush to their rescue, and they're allowed to react however. And if they react the normal human way, everybody just laughs. You go along with it like, oh, that's really funny, because he did the thing that I'm not allowed to do because it's a normal. Yeah.
Right.
I can't give stories because I just don't want to be like very specific. But
I've got one but Bobby, do you have one before I share mine? Have you ever walked into a business arrangement or worked somewhere and you weren't aware of some unwritten rules that it sort of might have messed with you?
Wow. I got to say yes, because it had to do with landing a big account.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit full of myself. And a few people had to remind me not to do that, because, the people that you pass on the way up the ladder are the people that are going to help you down the ladder at some point.
Yeah.
And, but the unwritten rules are important. And I had a history of really kind of not playing by those unwritten rules because I didn't believe in hierarchies, and I was a little bit different.
You were the rebel.
I was a rebel, and coming from a baseball background, I kind of played to win.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I started to realize that the unwritten rules in baseball really also applied not only to business, but also to life.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think unwritten rules are there because if they're written down, then it becomes part of it. You create a legalistic type environment. You want culture. You won't like it or not. You might agree with the unwritten rules. You might not, but they're there because apparently there's enough people that have sort of ascribed to this thought pattern. I remember an unwritten rule in sales I learned early on, which is you don't criticize the product that you're replacing. Don't ever criticize the product or the service that you're replacing. I'm in a business meeting with a group of deacons at a church, and their piano is having to be replaced. So me just excited about the quality of the piano they're getting to replace this hunk of junk, because it really was a subpar. The piano that they purchased 20 years prior was not made for the rigors. There's a running joke in the piano business. What's the worst place you can put a piano? In a church. And the reason is because throughout the week, on Sunday morning, the temperature is 70 degrees. The temperature is room temperature. But during that week, it either spikes up to 110 if you're in the southeast, or it drops to 30 degrees because they don't keep the air on, right?
Yeah.
Well, that up and down in temperature just ruins, because at the end of the day, what is it? Wood and strings, right?
Right.
And so certain qualities of pianos just do not do well in that environment, and they have had problems after problems with the one that they had. And so I'm saying the reason why and I'm just going in, and I'm just an A-B comparison. I'm not trying. I am sitting there insulting about 70% of that board is what I'm doing.
Trash.
I am sitting there and I'm insulting their decision-making process. I'm insulting their sense of stewardship. I mean, I am just stepping in it left and right. And I mean, I so much as had the check in my hand before I showed up, but after I got through talking, do you think I closed that deal?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
So there's an unwritten rule.
Yeah, I got one more. It's quick. Okay. In Chick-fil-A, there's a person that orders that truck. Okay. At least the one I worked at, it's an assigned role. So one person orders the truck. That's all the supplies that are coming in. They come in every morning at like 4:30 a.m. basically. Okay. My job was I come in really, really early, and I help put up the boxes. Then I go set up the kitchen. That was my job for years. Okay. I made friends with the guy that ordered the truck, and we went out one night, and we had, drinks, and we were all having a good time. And I didn't realize that the unspoken rule here was you don't criticize the guy that could make your job a lot harder. I was not a fan of the way that he ordered truck, because typically the way it works is like if you have 5 big, 50-pound ketchup boxes already, you probably shouldn't order 6 more, because, you could probably wait a couple of days to order that. Like I said, we were out drinking, having a good time. I thought it was safe because we had just been buddy-buddy. I was like, hey, man, you know what you suck at? and I just let loose. And I thought I was joking around. I thought we were having
Is
a good
that
time.
really unwritten?
No, I mean, so like it was playful banter. I wasn't being serious, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? And the switch from like buddy to you don't know F about F
right
happened real quick. And the next time I came in for truck, I thought 5 extra packets of ketchup was bad. Turns out he'll order 15 and just be like, oh, my bad, guys. I didn't mean to. Won't happen again. And so until I apologize, you know, I'm carrying 700 pounds just before breakfast. Like, unspoken rule.
Unspoken rules.
Unspoken rules.
Unspoken rules. Hey, well, when we get back, Bobby's he's gonna speak some rules about a new currency that you've probably heard of called cryptocurrency, and he is crazy over it. And he's gonna be sharing all the information you need to know about it in segment 2 when we get back right after this. Chapter 1, the 4 words that changed everything. Another day, another dollar. I just clocked in and was super excited. I finally felt like an adult. For the first time in my life, I was working for someone that wasn't a family member.
Hi, I'm Haven, and Terry Wilson's my dad. And the reason why I think I like this is it teaches me not only to like earn money and work when I get older, how to earn it. It also teaches me how my dad used to live in the past, what he did, what was his first job, like the reason why he came into this podcast sphere. So that's why I think I like his podcast and this audiobook.
Get the audio version of You Are Worth More at coachwithtw3.com. That's coachwithtw3.com. Get the first 2 chapters for free.
Hi, this is Linda Wilson Gordon with Insights with Linda. I'm talking to you today from the beautiful Pacific Northwest, literally right next to the Olympic Mountains, a truly gorgeous part of the country. I want to tell you just a little bit about me and my background. I currently coach and train financial services professionals and business owners across the country on how to make their business more profitable and how to reduce their federal tax bite. My insights have been gained over a 30-year career in the high-tech financial services, independent business, and entrepreneurial arenas. I really hope you'll join me Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on TW3 Radio, where I'll be talking and also interviewing guests about a variety of business and entrepreneurial insights, and also talking about mindset and what it really takes to succeed. If you have questions you would like to ask me, or you want to connect with me for any reason, you can always reach me on my website at lindawilson3.com. My podcast is streaming on TW3 Radio and also on the TW3 Radio app. It's also on demand on my website. I can't wait to connect with you there, and please do share with others you think would like to know a bit more about Insights with Linda. Insights gained from a 30-year career as an independent entrepreneur.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
I've always wanted to say this, but for bumper music, that's very tasteful what was just played. The intro to that, it's very tasteful. I really like that intro. We should replace that. Yeah, we're back. We're getting into cryptocurrency with Bobby. I'm incredibly excited about this training. I think there's a lot of really good knowledge that would apply to me personally. So that's why I'm excited for it. Hey, it's about me. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be back. Are you crazy over crypto? And what's all this buzz about Bitcoin? Question. If you invested $1 in Bitcoin on the day it started trading in 2009, how much would that be worth today? A, 7.3 million, B, 23.5 million, C, 43.5 million, or D, 73.5 million? Well, the answer is going to blow you away. The first trade in Bitcoin was on October 5th, 2009. If you invested $1 that day, it would be worth about $73.5 million today. Before I get started, a word of warning. For those of you that can't see this slide, the information that I'm going to talk about is for information purposes only. Please don't take what I'm going to say as investment, financial, legal, or tax advice. There are risks associated with investing. You can lose money. You need to talk with your personal financial advisor to determine whether or not investing in digital currencies such as Bitcoin is suitable for you. Again, this information is for information purposes only. Welcome to the Magic Moment, April 2021. That's how best-selling author Malcolm Gladwell describes the point at which an idea or trend goes from the fringes to mainstream. Gladwell wrote about the magic moment in his book Tipping Point. The tipping point is that magic moment when an idea or trend, social behavior crosses a threshold, tips, and spreads like wildfire. Cryptocurrency is approaching that point right now. April 2021 will go down in history as the moment that crypto went mainstream. What would life be like if our currency wasn't controlled by governments or corporate agencies? What if there weren't any limits on the amount you could transfer to another person? What if there was no interference from government authorities when those limits were exceeded? And perhaps best of all, what if there was no physical cash? It all sounds pretty futuristic, doesn't it? Thanks to a few industrious computer geeks, the monetary future has arrived. Bitcoin is a virtual currency that was created and designed to give its users complete financial autonomy. There's no censorship. It's protected from inflation. It's cheaper than other payment systems. Just you and your coins. How you choose them is up to you. Crypto lets people manage their finances the way they want to without Big Brother looking over their shoulder. Know this, Bitcoin is a difficult subject to grasp. I want to give you a better idea about what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why the technology behind it is the basis of the currency of the future. Understanding Bitcoin requires that we understand the limits of our ability to imagine the future that the market can create for us. If somebody told you 30 years ago that we would just about eliminate first-class mail with electronic flying text through the air and landing in a personalized inbox that you could check at any time, day or night, you would have told that person that they were nuts. What they were talking about was impossible. Hey, George Jetson didn't even have email. Elroy brought notes home from school on pieces of paper. But email is here to stay, and it has largely replaced first-class mail, just as texting, social networking, private messaging are replacing the traditional telephone. The reason that it's hard to imagine the future is because entrepreneurs keep surprising us with stuff we didn't know we needed. The markets are always outsmarting the most wild-eyed dreamers and the naysayers who keep saying that such and such can't happen. At some point, digital money will replace government-issued paper money. For centuries, gold and silver were the money of choice. It was controlled by its owners and its users. Then the politicians got hold of it, a controlling interest in half of every transaction, and look what they did. Today, money is rooted in nothing at all. It's subject to the whims of central planners, politicians, and monetary bureaucrats. The system is not very modern, and it is very broken. When you look at the world we live in today, maybe it was just a matter of time. It's impossible to deny but digital money is practical. Gamers need tokens that they can trade. Digital real estate needs to be bought and sold. Money is becoming more notional, with wire transfers, bank computer systems, card networks that move money around. The whole world is migrating to the digital cloud, but conventional money is stuck in the past. It's stored in vaults owned and controlled by governments. The geeks went to work trying to create a digital currency in the 1990s and came up with a number of prototypes, but they had two major problems. First, they couldn't limit the supply. Limited supply is what gives money its value. Second, nobody could figure out how to make it impossible to double and triple spend each unit of currency. On October 31st, 2008, an anonymous developer going by the name Satoshi Nakamoto released a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Who is he and where did he come from? Nobody knows. There are lots of rumors as to who he or they might be. Here's what we do know. He may or may not be Japanese. His writing style suggests a British or Australian education. He's smart. He's a coder. Bitcoin is written in C++ code. He understands high-level encryption, and he's intimately familiar with different types of computer network. And then we have the mystery. What's a good story without a good mystery? He totally disappeared in 2011, and I mean totally disappeared. His original cache of 1 million bitcoins, which is known as the Genesis block, has never been touched. That's over $5 trillion at today's price, which is a lot of money in anybody's book. Is he dead? Don't know. Is he in prison? Don't know. Is he in hiding? Nobody knows. We don't know, and we won't know until he unlocks the Genesis block, if he ever does. You know, there's another reason why he might have done it, and maybe it was to simply prove that it could be done. Satoshi's philosophical and practical motivations for creating Bitcoin most likely were 1. A distaste for government control, 2. A distrust of the banking system, and 3. A desire for a new way to make transactions digitally. Mystery aside, the system he built is simply incredible. It's designed to replicate the experience of the gold standards. The early creators had it easy, just like the early gold miners. They could pan it right out of the river. But today, gold is hard to get. You have to move mountains of earth to get the same amount of gold. Nakamoto built a system of mining that gets more difficult over time. He understood free market economics because he put a limit on the number of coins that could ever be mined. The supply is fixed at 21 million forever. He made his code completely open sourced and available to everybody so that it could be trusted. The payment system uses the most advanced form of encryption with public keys visible to everybody and a scrambling system that makes its connection to the private key impossible to discover. No one person will ever be in charge of the system, but everyone is in charge of the system. This is what it means to be open sourced, and it's the same dynamic that has made WordPress a powerhouse in the software community. There would be no need for an audit Bitcoin movement like Ron Paul's audit Fed movement today. This no one person in charge is driving the political class crazy. In addition, trust, anonymity, speed, strict property rights, and the possibility that other applications could be built on top of the original infrastructure made it just about perfect. In Satoshi's system, every coin has an owner, and this system cannot be gamed. So what gives Bitcoin its value? Well, there's several things. First, it's not fixed or pegged to any existing currency. Second, it's driven by supply and demand. Third, it's made from real stuff, the very ones and zeros that drive the global economy. And while ones and zeros can be reproduced into infinity, the new coins can't be, thanks to a system in which The coin and its public key are strictly controlled, and the ledger is updated for every transaction. Its soundness can be checked constantly through instantaneous conversion to other currencies as well as to goods and services. Last and most important, the supply is fixed at 21 million coins. There can never be any more than that, ever. Like I said earlier, April 2021 is a watershed moment in our financial history. This is the day that crypto officially went from a fringe idea to mainstream adoption. Coinbase, the leading cryptocurrency exchange in the U.S., had its initial public offering. An IPO is when a company lists its shares on a public stock exchange for the first time. Coinbase is listed on NASDAQ under the symbol COIN, C-O-I-N. Okay, so why is the Coinbase IPO such a historical milestone? Because it's going to bring the next wave of investors into crypto, and this will send crypto prices even higher. Coinbase is a big company. The company reported $1.8 billion in revenue for the first 3 months of this year. That's a 38% jump over the $1.3 billion it reported for all of 2020. Coinbase has more than 56 million verified users, which is almost twice the number of accounts that online broker Charles Schwab has. And Coinbase is in a hyper-growth mode. The number of accounts has shot up 30% over the last 3 months. If it keeps up that pace, it will hit 100 million customers by October. The crypto market is big and getting bigger. Right now it's about $2 trillion in size and growing, which is small compared to the global gold market, which is $11 trillion in size, and the global stock market, which is $97 trillion in size. But $2 trillion is still a lot of money. Apple Computer is worth $2 trillion. It's roughly 4 times the value of America's largest bank, J.P. Morgan Chase. Coinbase is actually more valuable than Goldman Sachs. And this doesn't sit well with Wall Street. Goldman Sachs was founded in 1869, and it considers itself an elite institution. Coinbase was founded in 2012, doing business in a market that the financial elites have trash-talked for years, and now it's bigger than Goldman Sachs in value. Crypto is growing, and here's the kicker. Wall Street isn't yet in on the game. Goldman and the other investment banks see billions in fee-based revenues that Coinbase is generating. They also see the triple-digit annual growth rates that crypto has had over the past decade. But don't fear. Wall Street's greed for fees are going to get them into this game in no time flat. The reason, fees are the lifeblood on Wall Street. It's the gravy train. Wall Street rakes in about $439 billion each year from fees from fund management fees alone. Over the last decade, Wall Street profits from managed funds and security products has fallen about 25%. The gravy train is drying up and they need a new revenue source, and they need it fast. Crypto is their lifeline, and Wall Street wants a big slice of this pie. Let's take PayPal. PayPal started offering Bitcoin trading on its platform last October. A round trip will cost you about 6%. That's a spread between the buy and the sell price, and this is an insanely high fee. Most stockbrokers have fees that are close to zero. A firm charging 6% round trip on stock commissions would face both a customer rebellion, and the regulators would be crawling all over them. Companies can charge this today because it's a new asset class, and it's so profitable that investors don't mind paying the fee because they want in on the action. This is why Wall Street wants a slice of the crypto pie. It's also why the government won't be able to ban Bitcoin. Bitcoin and other cryptos are being woven into the fabric of the U.S. financial system. Tesla, Amazon, PayPal, and a host of other publicly traded companies have plugged parts of their balance sheets into Bitcoin. Fidelity, the big investment firm, will actually now let you borrow against your Bitcoin holdings. This is revolutionary. There's too much money at stake today for the government to try to shut it all down. And let's not underestimate Wall Street's power over Washington. There are people in Washington who want to outright ban or regulate Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. They don't understand that crypto isn't the problem. Washington is the problem. I expect the Wall Street crowd to have a chat with leaders from both parties. Also, new crypto industry pressure groups are also forming. Just last week, there was news that a group of companies that include Fidelity, Coinbase, and payment processor Square have formed an alliance to lobby lawmakers. It's called the Crypto Council for Innovation. According to its mission statement, it aims to show the transformational promise of crypto and communicate its benefits to policymakers, regulators, and people around the globe. Are you too late to the party? Right now, about 35 to 50 million Americans own crypto. That's 10 to 15% of the U.S. population, and that's just a guess. The U.S. banking system touches the lives of more than 300 million Americans, and it holds north of 20 trillion in assets. And that's just a fraction of the 290 trillion global financial market. As more people, businesses, and institutions warm up to crypto, we're going to see billions, maybe even trillions of dollars flow into crypto assets. Crypto is becoming part of the mainstream financial sector right before our eyes. Coinbase has opened the floodgates by going public. Crypto is now on the radar of millions of investors, and you can expect other crypto exchanges and crypto-related businesses to go public shortly and enter the mainstream. So, is crypto for you? Only you know the answer to that. It's a risk-reward kind of investment. On a scale of 1 to 10, right now it's a 9 or a 10 because of the risk. This is common sense. If you want to invest right now, you should only invest what you can afford to lose. Is it going to be volatile? That's an understatement. The price is going to be all over the place, and you need to have a stomach for all of the ups and downs. You need to do your homework, your due diligence, your research, and make the proper choices in light of your own financial circumstances. In my mind, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Crypto is here to stay. I believe this so much that starting tomorrow, I'm going to have a portal through Coinbase that will allow TW3 members to pay for their memberships and other services with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether. So if you want to know more about crypto, just go to my website, crazyaboutcrypto.net. That's crazyaboutcrypto.net. Oh, and don't forget to tune into my radio show, Coach C's Inside Pitch. It airs every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on tw3radio.com. That's about it. Back to you, Terry.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
And now with Toto. That's what it sounds like too. That's my new thing. I'm going to comment on the bumper music. Need to vary it up though, so I have more to say. We got our questions. These are all from email. We're going to get into these first. Let's see here. First question. TW3 seems expensive to join. Why do you charge $9.97 to become a member?
Well, expensive seems relative.
Yeah.
I tell you what, before we get into the questions real quick, Bobby, what a great training that was on cryptocurrency. That was amazing. So thank you for dropping all of those value bombs. And have you, so you're investing a little bit yourself in that? Is that what I understood?
Yes.
Wow. So that's exciting. So
these are all lessons I will be applying to my portfolio.
Well, like I said, we're just giving opinions here. Everybody, seek your own counsel there. But it's exciting time in the online space and in the world in general with all of these tools at our disposal. And I don't know if you guys heard his part, but he was saying, what was the numbers again? If you invested, what was it, a dollar?
$1. $1 on the first day is equal to 73.5 million today.
Yep.
Another unwritten rule.
Yep. I have a friend that invested in Bitcoin when it was like in 2012 or 2010, whenever it was first coming out. And I don't remember that far back, but I feel like the reception of Bitcoin was most people were like, it's kind of a gimmick. Do you know how much one share of Bitcoin is worth right now? It's like $50,000.
Nice.
So just saying,
one coin. It's actually a technology. It's part of it's built on the blockchain, and it was actually created more as a, the technology was created, and then the coin is laid on top of it. It's an incredible ledger system, and it really is the wave of the future. And and a lot of people don't want to see it come to fruition because it's going to put a crimp in some people's bottom lines.
Sure. I just like the I don't know what the word is, but I like the fact that as cultures are changing and vacillating on things and value systems are changing, I can foresee a time where you're being judged because you like to, I'll throw it out there. Maybe I want to go buy a gun.
How dare you?
And that goes against other people's values. And I'm not advocating, but I'm just using that as an example. Well, I can see a time where having the autonomy to be able to spend money is going to be more and more attractive.
Yeah.
Because maybe the way I want to spend my money is being looked at differently in different perspectives, and that's everybody make your own decision. I'm not sitting here waving a flag for anything, but I do like what Bobby's talking about, that the technology part of that ledger part and how there's some security.
Well, that's what was so attractive about it, right? Was the security of it, the privacy of it, because it's all encoded,
Right.
Yeah. You have the security, you have limited size, limited size. So it's not going to be, like our US dollar where they decide, well, we're just going to, print another trillion today and devalue it. It's fixed.
Right.
And, every transaction is accountable. People say, well, it was like the haven for drug dealers and all these other criminals. But the fact is every transaction is in fact recorded since the beginning. Yeah. And if you want to have the ledger, you can get the Bitcoin core and put it on your computer. I have it running on mine. Yeah. And so you can see literally every transaction. I can't mine coins because I don't have the horsepower, but I can see the ledger.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's a fun thing about mining crypto is you need a good GPU. And what's fun about GPUs is it's made for gaming a lot of times. Like the idea in mind of when they have these GPUs, it's for gaming computers. Mm-hmm. And so everybody that's trying to buy or build a gaming computer, my roommate's trying to do one, you can't buy a GPU for a reasonable price right now because everybody's just buying them up for GPU or for crypto mining.
Now, why don't you explain what mining is? Did you get into that?
Bobby would do it much better than
Bobby,
I would.
did you get into that in your training on the mining part of it?
I didn't really get into the mining because it's a really difficult concept to grasp. Because what happens is that as each of the transactions is accepted and validated, it's kind of like a series of math problems, and it gets more and more difficult over time. And it takes a lot more computer horsepower to be able to solve that particular equation. And so, right now you have like in Iceland, which is probably the best country to be mining currency right now because of just where it's located. You don't need a whole lot of air conditioning to keep the, computer servers cool. Right. You would have, imagine walking into an airplane hangar and seeing racks of CPUs, floor to ceiling. And, you got hundreds of them, maybe even thousands of them working together to solve these equations. And, as you solve each equation, you get a coin. Now, once that equation is solved, you go to the next, the next equation, which is a little bit harder.
It's sort of like the modern day gold rush.
Mm-hmm.
It is the modern day gold rush.
Yeah.
The guys who started out in 2008, 2009, they were able to do it on the standard computer of that day. And then once the equation started, you had to go to a second CPU, a third CPU, and then you had to explain to your wife why your electric bill was, $1,000. And, why was it always so hot in the garage? And, then they started to move into buildings and then into warehouses. And, they started to take a pretty big chunk out of the electric grid.
Wow. It's an amazing time and a fun time. I'm telling you that. Isn't it amazing how opportunities all around us if we'll just look? It is just all around us. Go ahead, Reagan. I know you had some questions and I cut you off. I just wanted to sort of.
No, you're good.
Comment.
Comment on it. The first question was just, it seems expensive to join. Why do you charge $9.97 to become a member?
Oh, well, of course, expense is relative. Bobby, do you want to take a stab at that first or do you want me?
I'll take a stab at it.
Yeah.
The $9.97 is, basically a drop in the bucket. Because what you're doing is it's not an expense, it's an investment. And you have the ability to make an investment in yourself. And, if you were to go out and piece together all of the technology that you're going to get for $9.97, you're going to be coming in at somewhere probably around $3,000 to $4,000 if you went out and built this system yourself.
Yep.
So you not only have an economy of scale, you have an education system and a training system behind it that actually teaches you how to use it. And in addition to that, you also get the sales and marketing training that comes along with it.
Yep.
And so, if you're looking to be an entrepreneur and you're looking to start your own business and you have the ability to do it for less than $1,000 and, throw in the $97 a month for ongoing admin cost, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what you're going to get out of it. Because where in the world can you start a business and literally after one or two sales, be profitable?
Yeah, for real.
Mm.
I mean, to be able to, your return on investment is just immense. And I like to bring up this illustration, and it was very eye-opening to me when I started seeing what the average franchise owners of certain popular franchises are. If you was to become a franchise owner at McDonald's, what's the average? Google it sometime. It's very telling.
Isn't it like 110 just investment wise or something like that?
Well, no, not the investment. I'm talking about what do they make as franchise owners, single store franchise owners at McDonald's. The last time I checked, it was somewhere around 150, 160,000 on average. Now, there's some that make $500,000. There's others that make sense, because
it's based on your sales and
it's based on your sales and all this other stuff. But what does it cost to buy a franchise? You have to have $500,000 in cash liquidity to give to it, and then they finance the other parts. And it's usually $1 million to $2 million based on location and all this other stuff.
I think it's Subway. That's why there's so many Subways. It's actually really cheap to eat in.
Yeah. So my point is this, and my argument to everyone is this: we have members that you're going to hear from and have heard from on our show. You see them on our podcast. You see them at the website. You hear from them all the time, different characters. I'm not going to necessarily bring up each and every one of them, but tons of them. One of them just joined a couple years ago, and in his first year made $250,000 and doubling that. So, and that's in a system that starts at only $1,000. Now, I would tell you, everybody needs to be at the elite level because that's where you get everything and all the training and the strategies. But I don't know of a business when you're just looking at raw business opportunities where the upside potential is so immense and the investment side is so mitigated to just a few pennies when you're talking about what you're going to be able to do. And on top of that, why is a franchise so appealing to people? Why do I want to buy into McDonald's?
Name
Chick-fil-A? Brand. What else?
They come with all the layout, like the trainings, and
The
stuff,
system
tools,
of business, the inventory of business. You've got a business in a box when you buy a franchise. And so that's why most people, when they're investing in business opportunities and wanting to start their own thing, it's very appealing to look at a franchise model.
Yeah.
Now, what's the downside to a franchise?
Go for it.
Well, if you're a McDonald's, you're McDonald's.
It's true. Yeah.
You can't be anything but McDonald's.
Yeah.
If you're Chick-fil-A, you're Chick-fil-A. But as a TW3 member, you have that system, you have that inventory, you have that way of doing things. But at any moment, you can slap whatever branding atop that.
That's true. If you like our branding, you can use it.
If you want our branding, you can use it. If you want to be the guy, the guru, you can be the face of and all we are is your back office.
It's true.
And we've got so many people that we can't say who they are because it would undermine their branding.
Yeah.
But you get the best of both worlds. You get the business in the box, the system, how to do things, all the inventory you need, and a proven strategy, But then if you want to use our 13 years A+ rating business model, branding, you can. But if you want to be someone else, look a different way, maybe my corny jokes and way of delivering things is not your thing. That's cool. I'll just be your guy in the back office.
Sure.
But we play whatever role you need.
Which I know you both answered it, but just a real quick answer because I get this one a lot too. Obviously, we're not the only lead generation company out there. There's other ones, but I think that adds to our value because as far as pricing goes, we're incredibly competitive. Just go look at other lead generation systems. I'm not going to name any names, but there's some that are much more expensive than what we're offering, and they're offering a lot less. There are certain ones that you can get. It's just a PDF. So where Bobby went into, you have to buy all these pieces to go into place. We provide that for you. And then lastly, look at our commission compared to other systems. If you even get a commission, it's $9.97 to start as a rep member. If you join as a rep, you're reselling the tools. Look at your commission as a rep member. You're making $750. So
up to $1,750.
Yeah, up to $1,750. But let's say you sell at the base. I mean, you're already making almost all your investment back. So for me, it's a logistical thing because I get this a lot. I'm like, just look at the numbers. I mean, really.
Yeah. And what other? And the other thing, and I'll end here. That is, I think, the magic sauce of a lot of this, as far as the business side, is the only way you at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or anywhere else can make money is you got to sell that sandwich.
Yeah.
You have people come through our drive-through, you can look at them and say, chicken ain't your thing. Here, I'm going to give you this salad over here for free.
Yeah.
And you get paid to give it to them.
It's true.
I mean, so think about that. That's powerful too.
Yep. Second question here. How would you generate leads for a health and wellness biz op I have?
Yeah, so it goes into what we were just talking about, because biz op is biz op. All biz ops are a little bit the same. It's just a matter of what business are you selling, what's the product, and all that. So if you can generate a lead for the business opportunity at TW3, you can generate a lead for your health and wellness. I know there's a lot of fitness shakes and different home-based business, network marketing type businesses and stuff like that. They're in the health and wellness space. Your steps 1 through 6 at TW3 gives you the technical assets, the technical tools, and the marketing strategies on how to generate leads to get people in a business opportunity. All you have to do is rebrand your blog to be about that particular peel through a lotion or potion, as I like to say.
Third question, what do you say to clients to ensure the legitimacy of TW3? I'm a new member who has a few clients on the fence.
Well, give that to Bobby first.
You mean about the legitimacy?
Yeah, we got a member here that sent in a question. They've got a client that's sort of on the fence, and just what can that new member say to their potential client about the legitimacy of the opportunity here, the brand, the business, the strategies and stuff we offer. He's wanting.
Well, there's really, a couple of things. First, you point out to the date started. You've been in business 12 plus years. The A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And what that tells you, and, basically you look at the numbers of people around the globe in 70 different industries, it's a real people with a real product, and it's legitimate. It's a real business run by real people, and they sell a real product. And, you can also take them to the testimonial page and say, we change lives.
That's right.
And, you can point out that, there's a lot of testimonials out there that, talk about how people's lives were changed.
That's true. That's true. And not only are these testimonials out there, they're made to where you can make sure that they're legitimate people. Those aren't just icons out there. Those just aren't Photoshop or shop pictures, Yeah. But those are real people. Go ahead, Bobby. I'm sorry.
And the last thing is that, when you look at most of the testimonials, they aren't about money. It's about how they changed lives.
Oh, that's powerful. I never thought about that. I have never thought about that, but he's right.
It's true.
Most of our testimonials, it goes beyond the money. It goes to all kinds of areas of their lives that are being helped. Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I honestly, I have never thought, but you're right. Most of our testimonials are about, hey, my life was changed. My business is doing this. I'm able to do this now. But it's about how their whole professional and personal lives have been just revolutionized because of some of the tools and training we've been able so graciously been given ourselves so we can give to others. So it's so powerful. Man, that's great stuff. Thank you, Bobby. Well, guys, when we get back, we're going to talk to Bobby about what he's got coming up tomorrow night. His radio program will be back on tomorrow night, and I want to talk to him a little bit about that and what he's got going on. And we'll be back right after this. Are you like 98% of people who've tried a home-based business and didn't work out the way you wanted? Most home-based businesses and most people who try a home-based business have a hard time. And here's the reason why. It's not about them. They can do it. You can do it. But you're set to fail right from the get-go because you lack one unique thing you got to have. And that is a means, a method, mechanism, in other words, a way of getting in front of people who need what you have, who want what you have a desire for it that you can sell to. When you have the TW3 marketing system, you have everything you need to get in front of as many people as you want on demand and make money. And here's the other beautiful thing. You're selling products of high commission. You're gonna make anywhere from $750 up to $18,000. If you get 25 qualified leads that come through your sales system and funnel that we teach you how to set up at TW3, you are gonna sell one and you're gonna make a minimum of $750. That's the power of TW3. That's the power of our system. That's why so many people have been with us for so long after all of these years online. Tools have changed, technology has changed, the training has changed. But one thing that hasn't changed is the ability to get in front of people, and that's why you can make money at TW3.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
We're new here.
You suck at this.
I don't know how I hired me.
When do we just give that to River?
I don't know. River, why aren't you playing with
Literally,
these buttons?
just put that thing right here and let River do it.
We're going to have to let River do this. I obviously don't know what I'm doing. I got too many buttons going on here. But anyway, Bobby, you got a radio program, a new show tomorrow night, correct?
Yes, I do.
And what are we talking about tomorrow night at TW3? Inside pitch at TW3radio.com. What are we talking about?
Passion, purpose, and perseverance.
Oh.
The one of the things that I've started to do is that my grandsons are starting to play baseball, and they're, I'm sitting down and thinking about all of the things that make up a successful baseball player, so that when I talk to them, I'm bringing it to them at their level. And it's a lot of the lessons that I've learned. And so tomorrow night we talk about why passion is important. How do you find a purpose in life, and why having a purpose in life is important, and is it ever too late to find your passion or purpose, and the fact that you got to have perseverance, because life's not easy. We're constantly getting knocked down. We have to get back up. And, I'm trying to cover all of the traits that will help my grandsons become better people.
Bobby, I love that. Passion, purpose, and persistence.
Perseverance.
Wow. I was listening to, do you ever listen to any of Jordan Peterson?
No.
Yeah, you have to have a dictionary half the time when that guy talks. I have to stop about every 30 seconds and look up he's one of those. But he was on with Archbishop, I don't know what diocese he's over, but he had a religious figure. He's not a religious man per se. He's in psychology, but his whole claim to fame is he's written a book called the 12 Rules of Life. And now he's come out with another book, but and he said it, and I guess it finally clicked. He says, you'll never find purpose until you take on responsibility. Psychologically, the two are inseparable. And the more you can have yourself be willing to take on responsibility where? It could manifest in different places, in your home life, on your job, in a sport, whatever. But it's that sense of taking on responsibility is what infuses a person's ability to have purpose. Pouring your life into something that's greater than you. That's where life begins. And I loved it. It sort of clicked for me. I was like, you're right. The people that seem to have the most sense of purpose in their life is the people that are okay with, hey, I'll coach that ball team. I'll take on this. I'll take on that. I'll volunteer for this at the church to help. I'll shoulder a little more weight at work to do this. There's just there's something about that being willingness, that willingness to put yourself in those situations where purpose reveals itself.
That's right. We weren't put here to be served. We were put here to serve.
Yeah, love it. Well, that's going to be Inside Pitch tomorrow night, which is Tuesday, April the 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to hear the coach, Bobby Christy, Coach C, always bringing the heat. Thank you so much for being on tonight, Bobby.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, man. Boys, we got anything else? This is the last show. You guys get all of May off.
I apologize for last week.
Why? Oh, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Bobby, I don't know if you heard, but I let them sort of man the desk here and do the show last week as I
also would like to apologize.
Well, I had something in my head. I was like, I feel like I should be doing something right now.
Yeah.
I watched.
Sorry.
I watched it, and I learned from it. And,
I'm so sorry.
Whenever I get to meet them at the conference, I'll take them aside and
please.
We'll make it better.
Well, make it help them, Bobby. Help them. They need some firm coaching. Is all I'm saying.
Many have tried. You will also fail.
We cannot be matured. I think a man that has not only coached on the ball field but has been in the military could probably.
No, I'm scared of confrontation.
I'm sure he can. He knows how to motivate.
Whatever you say, man. I'm sorry. I'm behind a microphone.
Big man, not so big once the microphone gone.
Carry a microphone around with me.
Here we go. This is Terry at TerryWilson3.com.
Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com.
Get a free sample copy of the book You Are Worth More by going to TerryWilson3.com now.
If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com.